North Korea's state-run news agency accuses South Korea of being, quote, hell-bent on starting a war and says that Pyongyang is showing maximum self-control. The comments come as the South and the U.S. plan another joint military drill. Meanwhile, the foreign ministers of Japan and South Korea are preparing for three-way talks with the U.S. and Washington on Monday. Marco Vicencino is the executive director of the Global Strategy Project, and he's joining us now via Skype from Athens. So, Marco, as these three major powers get together to talk strategy, what is the best strategy for them to come up with regards to North Korea?
There's several options, but the key thing is a coordinated effort, coordinated and concerted, to make sure that everyone is on the same page. Because if the situation does escalate any further and there's any further North Korean aggression, if all three sides, in this case the U.S., the Japan, and South Korea, are reacting in a different manner, this plays into the hands of the North Koreans, which all along they tried to play one country off another, particularly the members of the six-party talks.
Now Marco,
particularly the allies in this case.
You're saying that coordination is the key to a successful strategy. However, what we have seen from the United States and South Korea and Japan is a harder approach, military drills. What we're seeing from China is, let's get back to the negotiating table.
Yes, I mean, China obviously, in the last year and a half since the six parties talks basically came to a halt, the Chinese, in my opinion, didn't push as hard as they should have in trying to restart the talks. And as a result, a year and a half has gone by, several aggressive actions from North Korea. Now that the situation is escalating, the Chinese feel that they have to resume the talks once again, while for the United States, South Korea, and Japan, there's no purpose in restarting the talks unless they are really serious in coming to the table. This is the North Koreans with the Chinese also, in trying to make concrete steps in a positive direction and avoid dialogue for the sake of dialogue.
What would it take from Pyongyang to convince the major powers that it's ready to seriously talk about its nuclear program?
It's beginning to comply with international, the United Nations Security Council resolutions, and beginning a process of denuclearization. There's been several promises and concessions that have been made by several countries, by South Korea, the U.S., in recent times. And once again, it's been South Korean refusal to comply with this nuclear program that has led to the status quo. So once again, if the North Koreans come to the table very seriously and begin speaking about denuclearizing this program, and then I think there can be progress.
And what about the South Korean defense minister, the new South Korean defense minister, after this unprecedented attack on the South Korean soil, on the island, coming out and saying, next time we have a provocation from North Korea like that one, we are going to use our jets, and we are not going to sit and do what we did last month.
The new South Korean defense minister had no other option but to say what he did say. You look at it from an internal South Korean political perspective, internal pressure on the previous defense minister was enormous when he failed to reply in a firm fashion to the sinking of the South Korean vessel in March of this year. When the attack took place on November 23rd, the South Korean defense minister didn't reply in a firm manner. Therefore, the new South Korean defense minister, due to political pressure, has to do so, and also for the international credibility of South Korea. If South Korea doesn't answer in a firm fashion, it puts its credibility at stake internationally.
Marco Vicencino, Executive Director of the Global Strategy Project, thank you very much.
Thank you.